opportunities for young India. With support of all stalwarts here in this venue, on the dais and off the dais, we discuss and deliberate about the government support, the academic support, the industry connection for our students' aspirations, and looking forward to 2030 landmark, or more precisely, the Viksit Bharat by 2047. वो कहते हैं ना बिगुल बज गया तो काम शुरू हो गया and that too in the right direction. So this was done during 28th to 30th at Gandhinagar in 2023 by the inauguration of Semiconductor 2023 by Honorable Prime Minister of India, where most of us might have attended and been a part of it. But although prior to this, context will all agree that a lot of research work and opportunities were already continuing in the area of microelectronics with the support of government and the industry, like the 76,000 crore support that was given by 2021 to various academic institutions. The IT was also supporting research in various ways, both to academia as well as industry. However, the awareness and visibility of electronics has gained during the Semicon India roadshows and has now made a mark among the entrepreneurs, academicians, industrialists, and all other stakeholders. The latest news in this reference is the recently Semicon India, which concluded on September 11 to 13, 2024 in Greater Noida, where our Honorable Prime Minister said, I quote, India's semiconductor ecosystem is a solution not just for India's challenges, but also for global ones. So, Professor Rajneesh, I would just request you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Professor Rajneesh, for setting the formally starting with the panel discussion. I had requested all the participants that Professor Steve has worked extremely hard to set the context very right through all those slides. I'm sure you must have had a close look at some figures and data in the slides as well. Further adding to the context, I'm sure we know history of semiconductors very well. So on the basis of the history only, we can predict what is going to happen in future as well. We know BJT, bipolar junction transistor, was invented in 1947 by William Shaw. First integrated circuit was made sometime in 1958 by Jack Kilby, right, from Texas Instruments. And in fact, there has been always a kind of conflict, the two actually, where the Germans invented first integrated circuit, others invented that. But nevertheless, the humanity started realizing the importance of semiconductors and integrated circuits very, very soon after the first integrated circuit was made. And India is to make semiconductor chips in 1976 when semiconductor complex limited facility was established in Mohali. It was very, very unfortunate that the whole facility was burned in a tremendous fire sometime in 1990s or so. And that was very, very unfortunate. Otherwise, TSC, the company which holds the share, maximum share, around 65% share of Indians in the whole world, in 1987. But we took the lead, but we couldn't continue with that. So I'm sure as a country we seriously realized the need of integrated circuit chips when COVID-19 happened, and there was so much of dependency of India, such as big country, on small country Taiwan, that if we fail to procure chips, what will happen to the whole technology? What every field represents a company where there are so many sensors which are being we like to talk about the same. But we realize that we as a country have to have a semiconductor manufacturing hub. And we must thank the vision of our government, Prime Minister Modi ji, that on 13th March 2024 this year, history was scripted when foundations stone for 3 foundries were laid in this country, 2 in Gujarat and 1 in Assam. We really look forward to that once these foundries will actually start delivering chips, integrated circuit chips to the whole humanity, to the whole country, how the landscape is going to change. So that is what exactly we are going to discuss. And we do have very, very experienced panelist person, normally three come from industry. We do have one entrepreneur, Ravi, entrepreneurship, so who knows what exactly for anybody who tries to venture into manufacturing of integrated circuit chips. Preeti comes from the industry from an NXP Semiconductors. Professor Ranjan Mali comes from IIT Delhi, brings in plenty of experience from country's most reputed institute. Right? Professor Sujay Dev comes from IIT Institute like IIT Delhi, has numerous manufacturing of also. So we look forward to this very, very engaging and panel discussion. So just Dev, like to start with formally with asking questions from the panel. Thank you.
So, with all that background about support to the government and the news training so far, I would take you to our of Professor Sujay Dev, sir, coming from academia. So, sir, with all the background about the upcoming skill opportunities for young India, as academician, please update about the changes in Indian higher education system that we are coming up with. So, as we complete skill in the electronics industry, and I understand IIT Delhi has been a host for a lot of initiation of activities from multi-academy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Uh, as rightly pointed out, we are in a very, very exciting period. I think the different circumstances made us realize that we have to do something about the supply chain problem and service industries which are doing very good. We have to also develop things for ourselves so that like one sixth or one seventh of the whole Earth population is not dependent on some tiny country for their basic semiconductors. So in that regard, I think that the rightly the ecosystem need to be developed. So or not only people deciding or special people from that will always help. Collectively work, both in academia, the government, policymakers have to come together. And in that direction, I think a lot of things are happening. The NEP focused a lot on hands-on training, the training which will be essential for designing something from scratch. So many of the industries are coming forward, giving opportunities to students to get a feel of what it means to apply what they are learning in their classrooms as part of theory and applying them and designing practical solutions. Many institutes have started BTech program in VLSI. IIT Delhi is one of them, and I'm sure many other institutes have started this program. One of the key differentiator in this program will be students having some tape out experience. I think when you build something, you might simulate it, you might analyze it in the tools as much as you want, but when you put it on a measurement instrument and see how this behaves, that's a completely different experience. There you have to work with a larger team, you have to work with the constraints of the fabrication process and all these things. So this taping out process, if every BTech student goes through, I think it will be a game changer, and it has to be there to make all these initiatives work together in a significant manner. Not only these BTech programs, I think even AICT has come up with some standard template or standard syllabus for those BTech programs in VLSI. Many other initiatives like this kind of conferences and the understanding that it's not only solving some surface level problems, or for at least last decade or so, whenever we thought of designing something in hardware, we will be ending up doing something with Arduino board or Raspberry Pi boards without understanding how the Raspberry Pi board is working or how the signal which sensors which I'm connecting to this board, how that signal is getting processed. We were quite satisfied with that, but I think we have to change that attitude, and we have to start looking into more deeper and identify that where the bottlenecks are. If my requirement is this, then I have to prune everything else and design a system which will only fulfill my requirement in the best optimal way. So I think this from first principle, this attitude has to be there.
Understand the fundamentals. So why sincere research to all the students to understand the fundamentals. If you are strong with your fundamentals, you can actually try to cross to the principle. And that's the only way going forward if we want to make the aim of designing
Yeah, possible, because even if we have hundreds of fabs, we will be only supplying to what the global needs will be. Maybe we will be just the manufacturer or the very low wage people who will be assembling things, because the design has been done by somebody else. We will be assembling things and shipping it back. So we'll be the low cost labor of the world. So we don't really want to do that. We would like to dominate this field, and to dominate you have to design. So I will keep focusing on the design part along with all the other initiatives, and I think curriculum is a fundamental thing here. Lot of good initiatives already taken. We have to make it realize. Many times we have seen very nice initiatives, but implementation becomes an issue. So we have to be careful about implementation, and sincerely, all of us should work together to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Professor. Very rightly told, fundamentals are very, very important. Professor typically talked about the academician's angle. He talked about National Education Policy 2020 also, and the emerging opportunities coming from that. A lot of emphasis is being laid on hands-on experience. Thank you so much. And I would like to add over, at times there is a big pain from the academician angle, whether the students are able to use the tools like cadence or synopsis, and then they do claim they have learned a lot, but when you ask them the basic question like what is a band gap of silicon, they fail to answer it correctly. So you rightly laid the emphasis on fundamentals, right? Very good. Professor Ranjan, I would like to ask you, you have been an IEEE fellow, and we all, whosoever is senior member of IEEE, we all aspire to be fellow. But really know that how much hard work really goes in becoming an IEEE fellow also. So you do come with a lot of experience. This is an IEEE conference, TENSYMP conference. Deepak Mathur sir is sitting over there. Professor Lance Fong is sitting over there. Who is who of IEEE? Just like to know from your side, we do have a lot of representation of IEEE student members as well, that how your association with IEEE has benefited you, and simultaneously what really you look forward to, that getting associated with IEEE will help students in getting better trained so that they can contribute to this cause of India making the semiconductor manufacturing hub.
Okay, so along the lines of the message I sent you on WhatsApp,
Yes.
in response to your similar question. So I would like to say that, first of all, of course, IEEE, being a member of IEEE for so many years has been a great experience, and it does have advantages because you get professionally linked at an international level at all times. And the IEEE conferences are helpful. I have been a regular participant in ICC and GLOBCOM and WCNC, and mainly IEEE and GLOBCOM, ICC and GLOBCOM. These are the primary conferences of the IEEE Communication Society. I am in communications area, and so I can tell you that it is a great experience. So I also was initially a student member, and then I became a regular member, and then later senior member, and then later fellow. So, but the main thing is that these kind of things can only serve as some supporting tools for some professional. What you need is the basic infrastructure in the place of your work or your activity. So, as far as India is concerned, we have a Bharati School of Telecom Technology and Management in IIT Delhi for over 20 years, and they have funded it from the beginning. and I have seen, we have observed, we have had many, we have an MTech, MS and PhD program in that. It's not a full-fledged department, it's a smaller unit. And because I'm mentioning, because Airtel is one of the major service providers in telecom, so I would like to say that, they keep talking about R&D, but they really don't have a clue. Okay. And moreover, their business model is not exactly what, at least as academicians, we would like them to be. They want investment, quick investment and quick return. That's the main problem. So they don't want to open a research wing like AT&T had in the past in US. So they need to evolve. Okay, they are in a low state of evolution. And for example, I tell you, they are an excellent service provider. I mean, I have 2 Airtel connections, phone connections, and I am very happy with the performance all over the world. Not too expensive, very affordable, and very good connection, etc. The problem is that I'll give you a simple example. That if you ask, you have a vegetable seller who sells very good vegetables, and you are always ready to buy vegetables from that seller, of course, and you are very happy with what you buy. But the problem is, if you expect that vegetable seller to suddenly fund agricultural research, he may be making a lot of profit, but for the person to appreciate and understand and invest some of the money in agricultural research is a different problem. You see, the person has to evolve to understand that it is important. That is the main issue. So the Airtel is in the same. Airtel is a good vegetable seller even today, though they talk a lot of things. And I don't know much about Reliance, but I don't think they are much better in that sense. But I would like to give an example of Huawei. Huawei one day started like Airtel, and today they have so much of in-house R&D, and they have R&D labs all over the world. And where are we? Nothing. We talk big, but the problem is the industry. I have colleagues who do consultancy for industry, and I have also done a little bit. The issue is that they are unwilling to shell out money for R&D. That is the basic problem. The unwillingness is so strong, and they always try to exploit academicians. I remember once, somebody from a startup company said, I want to discuss this, discuss that. Then I just replied. I said, well, my consultancy, I just charged, told at US rates. I said, these are my rates. If you are ready to come, I'll set up a consultancy time, and you can do it. Then he said, no, we don't want to, we can't spend that. I said, sorry. So I remember I have done consultancy once for regarding copyright violation litigation for one company, and they were going on negotiating. I charged them at US rates, and I said, I will not budge a paisa from that. And they finally agreed. So the problem is the attitude is always to freeze academicians. That is the biggest problem. I had a friend who passed away in heart attack in 2016. He had started his own company. He was working on machine design in power area. Professor Rajagopal. So, and he used to tell me his experience that every time, he used to design for polar fans, I think Orient or polar fans, small machines. And he used to always have this problem of negotiating the price. They are always ready to freeze, and they will try to exploit. They take away your design, and they will try to pay you less. This is the problem. He used to be very frustrated sometimes. This is the problem. The attitude is not good. They have to change their attitude. I'm not saying, I'm sure there are some industries who are fine, but it is not large enough to make a mark as a country. That is the main problem. So the industry has to change their attitude. That is the first thing. They have to have some corporate social responsibility. And because, developing in-house R&D is a lot of investment, and probably the returns are not immediate. So that they have to understand. And another thing is that we need also to improve our engineering education system. As one of the honorable panelists pointed out about knowing basics, etc. And we are seeing this. This is of course a problem, especially with this proliferation of AI/ML. People talk of machine learning, they don't know basics of estimation. Nothing. So this is the problem. And it is with my experience of listening to faculty candidate seminars, I have seen. People have very good publications in good journals, but they are unable to understand, answer fundamental questions. Earlier, this was not like that. So there is some problem with the pedagogy all over the world, and definitely, at least India, we can address. If there is a problem. in teaching the fundamentals or the way we design our courses, whatever it is, but we need to look into it. And this is an observation. I don't think this is only particular to IIT Delhi faculty candidates. This is an observation in many places, and you can ask others. They'll tell you experience. So that is another thing. But main issue, research schemes. But for everything they have a rider. For many of these, that you have to get certain percentage of money from industry. Now, which industry is there to shell out? They can't even shell out 10,000 rupees. You forget about for 50 lakhs. That's a problem. Many years back, I took sponsorship from Airtel for one of our communication conferences, NCC, which is held every year. Next year it's going to be organized by IIT Delhi. It was, those days it was not a big amount, few lakhs. The kind of questions they asked me and the kind of inquiry they made, they had no idea of what a conference is like. This kind of profound ignorance is shocking. And even today, I don't know how much they have improved, but I can tell you, if you ask any, Airtel has some so-called R&D thing. If you ask them what are primary communications conferences worldwide, I mean, basically ICC and Globecom, they will not know the name. I can be well assured. This is the problem. So they need to work. In the power sector, it is better, as far as I know, based on my interaction with many people, researchers in power area. But in communications, it is pathetic and it needs to be drastically. I mean, Huawei has gone like, I don't know, how many years ahead already. And we are far behind, and neither Airtel nor Reliance, who are the primary ones in telecom, they are not even worried or bothered. Because they are just making their own profits as a service provider and they are happy. So with this attitude, we really cannot progress. As far as electronic design is concerned, we should know whether we just want to be a fab facility, as one of our panelists pointed out, or we want to have R&D plus fab. That is important. If you just have fab facility, somebody else will, design it and send it to you, just manufacture. So that's the thing. So that roadmap needs to be properly laid out. So that is very important. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Just to add to what you were talking about Bharti at IIT Delhi, there was just news in the newspapers, the startup firm in collaboration with Bharti and IIT Delhi, there's a third ITech.
They talk a lot of things. You see the output now, how many patents they are filing. Do they have any significant publications? That is what you need to see over the last 15 years. You see that?
What I studied in this newspaper, that US security establishment, they are handing over the jobs to this startup and probably
well, if they come up, it's fine, but who are the people who are doing the job, we have to see. Yeah, but so far I have not seen any significant research output from Airtel in-house. I mean, some of our faculty, they get small projects from Airtel and probably from that they have some output. But that is not significant enough to make a mark as a country. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You rightly said we should focus more on fundamentals and academicians. I think we should focus more on taking the junior classes, the first year, the second year, so that the fundamentals we are trying to help them. That's what I am doing. I'm taking third semester classes this time. So thank you so much for your insights, sir. And Rajni sir, we can go ahead now.
Thank you so much, Professor Ranjan Malik. One message which I could take from your whole 5 minutes of address or so, that the industry has to show the sport on ground, not on just paper only. Right? So that's a very, very clear message. But simultaneously, Professor Ranjan talked about another thing as well, that being IEEE members at young age really helps. He has been talking about that the numerous conferences which IEEE organizes, it is always beneficial to attend these conferences, participate in such conferences, listen to the stalwarts like this, and somewhere something, even 0.1% knowledge also gets added at this young age that really helps in excelling in your respective careers. So the message for students is very, very clear. Next, Rakesh Malik sir, I would like to engage you. Professor Jasdeep, told that you have been very recently part of the Semicon India in Greater Noida. We'd really like to know from your side that what is your perspective? How much talk was happening over there, and how many action points were actually decided, which would be actually executable for this topic which we are discussing? India has to be a manufacturing hub for the integrated circuit chips. We'd like to know about your viewpoint. How much talk? How many action points?
Yeah, hello everybody. First I will tell you a little background what we are doing. So we are a IP and IC company. It's an analog based company. We started in 2017, profitable all the years. We started, there was no scheme from government 2017. The scheme started coming in 2021-22. That is the area, where government started focusing, and 76,000 crores was outlaid for all these kind of semiconductor things to happen. Semiconductor is a capital intensive business. So one has to really think before starting, but we jumped. I had a lot of experience. I was working with ST for many years, more than 27 years, and then we thought of starting. And the only thing that is good to start with is the speed. Speed is very important. So we came out with few products very quickly, within 3 or 4 months, 6 months kind of thing. We had the prototype ready, and then we started looking for customer. So there is always a vicious loop of having customer first or product first. So you need to create something, because customer will never give you, if you don't have anything working, customer will not come and give you the product, the order. So this is one thing which is very important. Now coming to the point of Professor. So there are schemes like DLI, product linked incentive. There is a DLI scheme. So in fact there are 3 pillars, I would say, for semiconductors. One is the fab, the other one is the design ecosystem, and the third one is the packaging, the back-end part of it. So most of the things have come up in the first part, and the second and the third part. The second part, there are some schemes. There is scheme of design link incentive, so which government has started in 2022. So I would say we were one of the companies, first 3 companies who were allotted this status of DLI. It's called design link incentive. Under this scheme, actually this is really happening, where 50% of your expenditure will get reimbursed. We have not taken it yet, but this is happening. Some people under the DLI scheme, they have taken this kind of thing. So, but the thing is that the only problem is that the startup who doesn't have this much amount of money, big money, they cannot spend 50% and get 50% from the government. But this is real on ground. The DLI scheme is 50% is being reimbursed to some of the companies, eligible companies. So what they do is you have to apply for the project with the government. Government will approve those projects based on many parameters. Team, your experience, your project viability, how much is the market, and so on. And then that 50% is available. Although there is more focus, I would say, on the first and the third part by the general, which is the first part is more on the fab. So there are some fab proposal like Tata and TSMC. They have come up with a proposal where they are going to spend 91,000 crore. It's a big money for the fab. The packaging part also, Micron has come up, and then there is Tata also towards the packaging side. I think a lot has to come on the middle part, which is the key part, as what our panelists is pointing out, Sujay was pointing out, Dr. Malik was pointing out, that we need to work on more on the design part, more on the value add part. Otherwise the only thing we become is the manufacturing hub. So we don't want to become a manufacturing. India has a lot of potential. The same Indians what we are here, they do a lot of work good work in US. You see patents, you see many CEOs at the top level, they are all Indians. So the same thing can be done here. So we must move up in the value chain, and that should happen. In terms of students, I would like to say that be ahead in terms of designing, in terms of, don't think just about manufacturing, but be ahead in the value chain. This is, I would like to say to them. And market is big because this semiconductor market in India is going to grow to $70 to $80 billion. So there is a lot of job opportunity that is going to come. We will have to be ready, and I think we are much better than many countries like which are in backends. I would say Malaysia, and these are other countries where mostly the packaging things are happening. We have design potential, much higher design potential. So if we start with all these three and make it right combinations, I think we can be there.
Hello, thank you so much, sir, for that insightful information about this meet in Greater Noida. And the students, I think those who are here, they know that they have to put in effort in adding value to the design. So for that, they have to study, actually. So there's a small thing I was just trying to recall, what sir was saying. Many of my students, previously they got through good job offers in Google. And then Google came forward and they said they wanted to shift few students to Silicon, in the area of Silicon. And students, they are so much used to, analog nahi padna hai. And they did not study analog in their curriculum. So the mark list is not showing that during the engineering they have studied analog, because they have termed this subject, analog electronics as a subject. Class में कुछ पढ़ाया जाता है, exam देने time कुछ भी numerical आ जाता है, and Gen Z is not comfortable with that. So I think that is something we need to. I think students are also realizing that, and what sir said, yes, that skill development has to be there, and they do have opportunities. The way you said, 70 to 80 million opportunities are there. Thank you, sir. Preeti, coming to you. You have been very active in IEEE. We all have been seeing you very active, even the industry participation in the forum of IEEE. So we want to understand from you the most significant advancements in the semiconductor industry over the past decade. And what is the impact that this is going to make in the field? So the way, Ranjan sir also just said, academicians, they are contributing to the research to the industry. So what do you think, and how is the industry taking it, and what do you think is the way forward for the industry with this?
Thanks, Dr. Steve. As like yesterday, good afternoon. Okay, so I come with a mix of industry and good friends in academia. And with the panel topic on manufacturing, I'll start with manufacturing and then shift gears to semiconductors, and then talk about what challenges and what things from my perspective. Okay, so I'm representing my views, not the view of my company. This is a disclaimer, first of all. So manufacturing, if you see, manufacturing is linked with economy, and if you see economy, typically there are three stages. First is typically if you go 5 years or 10 years back, or say 50 years back, it's first agriculture. Most of the countries, the main contributor to economy is agriculture, and so do as India. And after agriculture comes manufacturing. Like we have Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3, 4. So manufacturing was the one, with the steam and water, we started manufacturing, and then electrification, etc. And the third stage is, one can decide some fate, like sir was talking about Malaysia, they are in packaging, Singapore decided about fab, and different countries, they have the third stage of this economy. For us at India, again we started with agriculture, roti, kapda and makan. The moment we were sufficient in that, we shifted the gear, but we did a leap forward and we became a service, hub for the world. So we contributed a whole lot of things for services, be it IT services, be it telemedical services, etc., even the banking, insurance, and many services. But if you see from the manufacturing perspective, in the whole GDP of India, it's about 13 to 18%, typically within this range of plus minus 5 delta all through these years. And if we see from global, the part of global manufacturing kitty, we have almost 3.5% of global manufacturing happening inside our country. But if we see population, we are number one. geographical, we are in top 3. Economy, now we were discussing yesterday, we surpassed UK, we are in top 5. But manufacturing, we're just 3 to 4% of the globe. So I feel it's a huge potential. We can take a big pie of that cake for India to be the manufacturing hub. Now shifting back to semiconductors, semiconductor is increasing by almost 22% CAGR annually. We used to be about 25-27 billion back in 2020, and we expect this to go 110 billion in 2030. So 4x in the in just 1 decade. That's what is the expectation. But this can't come overnight, and this includes everything. It needs to be designed, it needs to be fabricated, it needs to be packaged, it needs to be tested, validated, etc., a lot of things. So from semiconductor perspective, as Dr. Desi was asking me, I feel we are relatively good start at. Dr. Anisha was mentioning about SCL getting founded in 84 or 86 time frame. In terms of design, if you talk about any big global semiconductor design house, they have presence in India. Okay, this might be say a team of 100 engineers to a team of 10,000 engineers. Okay, so they do have presence in India, and that's what Dr. Malika was mentioning is our edge, our forte. Almost 20% of global semiconductor design workforce comes from Indian origin. So I said that Indian origin, that doesn't mean all those 20% they work in India. We produce good engineers and we let them go to different parts of the Western world and still contribute to the semicon things. We have about 250 plus semiconductor industry design houses in India already, doing almost 2,000 plus tape outs a year, and these are the data which MIT is producing. But if we talk about end-to-end design happening in India, they are hardly, the number probably would be a 2-digit number within, whole of the industry. And this could be as low as 10, it could be as high as 99, because not all different skill set we have still in India. Okay, we do a huge part of verification and validation, we say B&B out of India, but when it comes to systems design, when it comes to, developing an architect, that's where we have a big gap, because that all gets defined in other part of the world, and then they should say, okay, well, you do this, push this button today, that button tomorrow, and we keep on doing it. Okay, so I would say within design we are kind of in service mode. Okay, that systems approach which our Honorable Prime Minister mentioned, and our CEO Kurt Sievers was here in Semicom India 2 weeks back, is that something which is really lagging, wherein we need to add up more and more. So coming to the workforce, how it has shifted. So SMDP, most of the faculty who work in semiconductor would be knowing SMDP, which was special manpower development. First of all, I don't like the word manpower, should be workforce. Okay, it should be gender inclusive. So SMDP started back in 1998. They had a funding of about I think 17 or 13 CRs, and there were 17 institutes they picked up. The latest SMDP, which we call C2S 2022-2026, has a funding of 99 CR. It is almost more than 5% of what it was, and they are talking about now 80K workforce being produced, about 113 plus institutes, and they are talking about 100 plus SOCs to being done. So as a country, I think there is a big shift happening, but at the same time, manufacturing, I think it is not must to have. But with the whole geopolitical situation, I think this is something which is very important. We need to be self-reliant. Most of the manufacturing is still cornered in one particular country, and their neighbors are very friendly, as you know. So if something goes wrong, that 50% of the supply chain will get disrupted. Okay, and that's the reason why the gravity is getting shifted. So this was a headline. Our CEO mentioned that gravity is getting shifted to now India. And a part of Europe and probably Vietnam is also taking a little pie of it. Okay, so from that perspective, I think the beginning is done, but ultimately it is a this takes its own sweet curve, because it's not only a manufacturing concrete structure. It is not only the equipment for manufacturing. The whole ecosystem needs to evolve. There are 300 plus gases required. There are like hundreds plus chemical, mechanical combination permutations required, because gone are the day where you physically pick up cassettes of wafer and go to other machine and plug in. Everything is being done by robot. Okay, so we need a lot of automation. We need more of mechanical guys, we need more of chemical guys, we need more of device and material, folks to be involved. So I think this is a good step forward with this all, 10K, $10 billion initiative, 76K. Now this Tata has come up with fab, another fab got announced 2 weeks back. OSAT packaging is a relatively easy thing. By the end of this year, Q4 this year or Q1 2025, we'll have the first package part already out in India. But that's not the whole story. So I think design 20% should go, say 30%, at least 1/3 of the global design coming from Indian origin within India, not only supplying to the rest of the world. And manufacturing, 3.3% global manufacturing we are talking about. The manufacturing would be $5 trillion. Okay. So even if we get to 10% would be a big deal, but it will come with its own, sweet pace. But as a country, I think we are quite a step forward. Government is proactive like never before in last 1 decade we have seen. We have a good example sitting next to me, Mr. Malik. Last 7 years they have grown from semi like anything. Okay, but we need now more and more of this. I'm talking about 2,000 tapeouts done from India. Is there any India IP? Do we have any Sony of India or LG of India or Samsung of India? No. All these IPs are being held by our, other, I will not like to mention the country, but they are capturing it. So we need more and more our own IP, and then only the whole ecosystem will build up. Presently we are just servicing. Mobile phones we are assembling. We want every single component to be done here. And that's where, our leap forward would happen. Yeah. With this, I'll rest here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Preet, for this wonderful insight coming in from a seasoned industry professional. Ladies and gentlemen, we are more or less done with the first round of the interaction with all the panelists, where we have covered, we took Professor Sujay Dev's opinion about, from as an academician, he insisted upon the opportunities available with NEP 2020 and need of fundamentals. We asked about Professor Ranjan Malik what opportunities IEEE brings for students. And he very categorically told, yes, IEEE brings a lot of opportunities, but when it comes to interaction with the industries, so industries have to be more serious on delivering, not only talking. Rakesh Malik ji brought in another angle from his semicon experience, and he tells us, he makes us believe that things are actually happening on ground, and he is very hopeful that more of design engineers would be able to contribute to the economy of the country. Preet brought altogether a different perspective. Yes, it is not only about a lot of supply chain mechanism has to be put in place, a lot of chemicals are required, a lot of machinery is required, manpower directly is not involved, not human beings, but robotics has to be, a lot of things are going to be happening. But we really hope Prime Minister hopes that by 2026, the first manufacturing facility which is established in Gujarat, they should be able to start rolling out the first lot of chips. We are very hopeful for the same. So with this background, now I would like to ask Professor Sujay Dev. He is a seasoned researcher, works in the areas of biosensors. So, speak question to you. Your research has been in low-cost biosensors for preventive healthcare. What skills you really look forward to from graduates so that they can in this area?
Yeah, so for this specific question, I think I'll go back to the fundamentals. But since, as Preet also rightly mentioned, we have to have a systems approach. We can't just, we can design biomedical sensors or biomedical, let's say, data acquisition systems using off-the-shelf Arduinos and some other platforms like that. Many of you might be doing, which is fine. But really, if you want to design something very unique, for example, let's say I want to design a data acquisition system for biomedical signals, which will last for days without changing batteries. It's easy to wear and it will not hamper my regular activities. So I need to put it in a form factor which is small, which consumes very low power and aesthetically also should look good. Now you will not find something off the shelf. You can buy the smartwatches, but those smartwatches have their own limitation. You can't get data continuously and all these things. So if you want to design something from which will be really fulfilling your requirement, you have to go back to fundamental. Maybe fundamental circuit design. You have to start from signal analysis. I hope all of you know what small signal analysis means, so that you can find out where the current is flowing and how I can basically reduce this current so that I can make my battery last for days. Apart from that, you have to have that concept of system design. So I have to understand what this sensor which I'm interconnecting, how it is working, what kind of signal, what range it is giving, how I should be able to amplify it, how I will be able to process it, and so on. So you have to have the complete understanding of basically each and every. So and then you have to have the approach to solve interdisciplinary problem. You should not assume that I know what that problem is, because the problem possibly as an engineer what you are thinking is the problem, maybe not the or understanding might not be correct. So you have to collaborate with people who understand the problem properly, and then that's how you have to design this problem statement properly. So I think it has several aspects to it. Fundamental is the primary one. Having system approach is the again the very important one, and then having a collaborative approach to understand the problem and be very, very open to fail, because of course if you try something new you will fail, but then from this failure you have to learn and you have to refine your design. So I think these few things we have to start practicing, and we have to keep on practicing. Many times we think that, oh, if I am doing a BTech project and if I fail, then my grade will suffer. But in that process, if we go and design something safe, which will not fail, but I will do some incremental improvement, that is not that exciting, right? So I think that attitude to fail and try something new is very, very important, along with your fundamental and system level approach. So these are the primary things which I look for. And I hope all of you will, as much as possible, practice this. Thank you.
Am I audible? Yes. Thank you, sir. Yes, fundamentals are important the way you said. And yes, thank you so much for the students to know that what they should focus on. Considering focusing on the attendees and participants of the conference as students and young faculty who have come forward, we would try to go further in this thing with you, sir. Ranjan sir, this is a question to you. With all these years of and in involvement with student community and researchers, you have worked, you have taught them, and researchers, you have worked with them. Now is the time of Gen Z and millennials. So they are the students and researchers, millennials probably. So according to you, what are the key skills and qualities that you believe that they should have, which will help them, the young graduates, to progress and flourish in their careers? Because they are still young and sometimes they just get carried away with the rest of the things. So with all your experience, what would you suggest, sir?
So the first important thing I feel is curiosity. That the desire to learn. In general, that is important because, of course, grades are important, and preparing for exams and doing well in exams is important. We all understand how the system works. But the main thing is the curiosity is the most important thing, because if you are in some stream and you feel you are stuck in it, and somehow you have to tide over the years, get some job or whatever, then you'll not be able to bring out the best in you. So first of all, you need to understand yourself, and that understanding does not end at any point in life. You keep learning more about yourself as long as you live. So, but at every stage you should try to understand yourself, what you like, what you do not like, and try to optimize your output in whatever it is. And another thing is, of course, sincerity. Being superficial and have wide knowledge. Everybody's capacity is different, right? So some people can go in sufficient depth as well as have knowledge in a wide variety of things. So you have to understand what is your, what are your limits in everything. In going into depth and, sometimes like a time bandwidth product. It's kind of constant, so if you try to increase the bandwidth, you have to reduce the time, etc. You need to, at least go up to sufficient depth in anything, any subject, and enjoy. See, that is the most important thing, liking what you are doing. So that is very important in research. It's not only about, publishing papers or writing, patents. It's about enjoying the work, the process of getting the results and formulating your output in forms of paper or patent. And of course, the final product is the goal, but the process is very important. See, it's not always the destination, but the journey is important. Remember that. Because otherwise, there are people who, somehow they do something, get something, so the output is probably the work. And so like that, you cannot maybe produce few things, and but on the long run, you cannot bring out the best. That is all I'm saying. Because everybody has potential, and to bring out the best in you, you need to understand yourself. And for that also, you need to focus your energies towards the right direction. I'm assuming that, see, everybody who goes into engineering is not fit for engineering. We all know that. Sometimes due to peer pressure, etc., you get into a stream. So maybe if that happens at an early stage, you change your stream. That is the option. But remember that all engineering disciplines are important, and it should not be only E and CS which are important. It's not like that. And though that concept has changed, but still sometimes people are stuck, are in some branch, and they, after a while, they keep comparing themselves with the CS and E guys, and they keep feeling unhappy about it. So it should not be like that. Okay. So, and sometimes you are okay, you are in a situation and you cannot get out of it. It happens. So, but then you try to make the best of it. Instead of have a positive approach in general, and I'm sure you can do best. And sincerity is very important. Okay. These shortcuts, most of in the long run, they'll fail. If you try to do a shortcut and try to use insincere methods, there's a high probability that it will fail. So it does not pay off. So as long as you keep these things in mind, I think it should.
Thank you so much, Professor Ranjan. So no shortcuts, lot of curiosity will help you in going your career far ahead.
And what he said is, it's important. The journey is important.
The journey is very important.
The journey is important. So continuity, consistency.
Professor Jasdeep, I feel like Professor Malik is very right in that how the curiosity is going to help these Gen Zs in staying in their career ahead of everybody else.
And
I
he
remember
even said,
when we started learning about VLSI, we used to talk about 180 nanometer dimensions, and currently the dimensions which are being taught about 2 nanometers. So there is so much of change that is on the VLSI design side. Chips are being manufactured of such smaller size. When we talk on the real applications, so Google was started in 1998, Facebook in 2004, and then YouTube in 2006, WhatsApp sometime in 2014. So, and now we have been talking about ChatGPT and all this. So to support all these technologies which are coming in, every 3 or 4 years we do have something interesting, something exciting coming up our way. And then we really get hooked to that, and then really start using that to try to explore that. But to support all these applications which are coming up, of course, those have to be built ultimately on these integrated circuit chips. And for design of integrated circuit chips and for manufacturing of those integrated circuit chips, of course, curiosity is going to play a very important role. With that, I would like to come back to Rakesh Malik ji again. Rakesh Malik ji, you come with background from ST Microelectronics. You must have spent a lot of years over there first to learn about how the field happens, and then you started your own venture. But sir, I just want to know from your side, so that many of those people would be there in the audience also who would like to be entrepreneurs. आपका अच्छा खासा जॉब चल रहा था, but why did you take that पंगा of starting this service? What was the motivation and how you been able to sustain in that also?
It's a very difficult question.
So my job is to put you in difficult questions.
All right, so I think there was no need to take Punga. This is, usually people do like that. But around 50 years, when I crossed 50 years, 53, I thought there should be something that I should do, because I have enough experience now. There is large amount of risk for sure, because you have to put in a lot of money also, your own money, and the money is not enough. When you are saying that the money is not enough. So the only thing left is that we can go with speed, as I was telling you. That was the one way we could start with some projects and go with higher speed. So that is how we started. But this was more of an internal desire that I want to do. And that desire got converted into do something for India, because there seems to be a good market. I could guess, in 2017 that the market is going to be big, semiconductor is going to be the thing. Why not do something within India itself? So that was the motivation. But then it was coming, of course, with a lot of risk, a lot of planning. They were planning how to sell it also. Getting first customer is always very difficult. And that was a difficult time, the most difficult time, that first 6 months when we were developing the product and we were looking for customers. Because customer says, give me a product which is working. Okay. And working product means capital. You will have to put money, you have to take a calculated risk and so on. So I would say it was more of a desire which got converted into doing something for India later. So that's how it happened. Thank you.
Mr. Joseph would like to say something, but what I have been able to get is love for the nation and passion. That's what really motivated him to start his own venture, and you have been doing exceedingly well, sir. Overall compliments, congratulations to you for that also. Yeah.
I think the last question just I'll put across to Preeti sir, and I think everyone of the dais would also be ready with few questions. But before we start with that, just a last important thing what sir also Mukhopadhyay sir spoke yesterday. Just give us something about the upcoming conference of IEEE that you're going to host this month itself, next month, October. This international symposium on integrated circuits and systems. Just an insight into it so that the participants who are here, they'll just know about it, and then we just leave the forum open for the others to interact with it.
That's an easy one, thank you. Okay, so but I guess the important Delhi chapter, I'm a volunteer to this society. It's a joint chapter between circuit system and control systems. So from the circuit system side, there are different flagship conferences which are being held annually all through the year in different parts of the world. So this year we were lucky. We are going to host this ISI CAS 2024 in Delhi on 18th and 19th of workshop sponsored workshop of October, and so all these 3 days, 18th to 20th, it's going to be in the same hotel. Thanks to Dr. Prerna to guide me to the hotel. ITC welcome the Varkas who will be holding this conference. So this conference is coming to India for the first time. It's true honor and pride moment for all the circuit system community of different parts of India. And this conference, I call it as a quality conference. The reason being is every single paper which is going to get presented in the conference would be published in the IEEE journals, TCAS 1, TCAS 2, BioCAS or OJOCAS, one of these 4 journals. And the whole review process is done by the journal editors only. Okay, so we don't form our review committee. This is, you need to submit your work to the journal, they would review, and the moment they are satisfied, they'll give us the list of a separate paper. And the criteria for the review is that you should have minimum CELCON results. Okay, so if you don't have CELCON, they don't even tend to review the paper. Okay, so this is such a high quality conference. We will have about 48 papers again, the share of India is about 3 or 4 papers, and rest of them are from different part of the world. And this is something I would say that typically we do 4 years, spend 4 years doing engineering, 1 semester, 6 months training 6 subjects. Here, if you spend 3 days, you will get to know what's happening in different part of the world. The cutting quality research. So most welcome to be part of it. And typically this conference is like you pay about 70-80K rupees to attend in different part of the world. Forget about your travel, food, and stay cost. Here in India, our aim was to bring down the cost. We were able to make it about 50K for the authors, and for the non-author community, it is just 8,000 rupees for student and 12,000 for faculty, and about 14,000-15,000 for industry guys. But if you're coming as a group, we'll be happy to give you a bulk discount based on the size of the group. I got a call from IIT Roorkee last night. They are coming a team of 20 students and 5 faculties. But I had never heard anything from Delhi or NCR Institute that, oh, well, I'm sending 10 students or faculty members. So good opportunity, please make use of it. And thanks to Delhi section for their support here for this conference. I think this is the first step forward. We'll have many other flagship conferences coming to India. Thanks.
So thank you. So that's 8,000 for student community and 12. Okay. So I think that will be a good opportunity to come over and see the papers that have been accepted in renowned journals, to listen to them. Yeah, please.
So, since you're not able to, there's no time for you to submit any paper, but our technical program chair is Professor Shanti from IIT Madras. As a part of this satellite workshop which we are doing on 20th, we are inviting few researchers within India and outside India, and that's strictly by invitation, no open call, wherein these researchers are going to talk about their research work for a 15-minute slot. So almost all the good premium institute, I don't want to restrict it only to IITs or NITs. There will be about 40 research, research professors who are going to talk about their research area. So that itself, I think, is probably in my, this little couple of decades of experience, I'm seeing it happening for the first time. We want to make that as an annual gathering. But if you want to be part of it, it is strictly by invite. Please reach out to me. And as a part of this workshop, we are doing a student research forum, wherein masters, PhD, or postdoc students can come and talk about their research part. Okay, so I think this would be a good cross-functional learning, networking all the Indian researchers together. So that again, and for the workshop, there is no registration fees. If you attend the conference, if you are registered for the conference, you get access to the workshop complimentary. Yeah, thanks.
So getting those details, they reach out to you. Or they reach out to us, and we are going to place a standee today. Yeah, some standees, some links on social media which they can see and they can share it with their peer group. So that this is the way he said, coming for the first time to India, so we can, cash on that and participate in this. With that, I think we can just open the forum for the participants who are sitting off the dais for any questions, which we can take 1 or 2 in the paucity of time, so that we can start the next panel session on time. And maybe then you have any other questions after 1 or 2 we can. Excuse me, sorry. Sir, would like to speak.
No, okay, I'll just give you some simple IEEE statistics. This is reality, and so you should know. Okay, the highest number of fellows in a year, IEEE fellows in a year is only 8. It was with effect from 2012, announced in 2011. In these days in China, the number of IEEE fellows from mainland China itself is about 20 plus. Okay, and so I'm just telling you, last year from India only one person got IEEE fellowship. It was a Panigree from IIT. So I don't know, the numbers have declined over the years also. It has become like sometimes 3, sometimes 2. I think the year before that was 2. So we need to buck up. Okay. Now regarding communication society, India has one of the highest number of memberships of communication, IEEE communication society. Okay. Right now it is either of the order of the number of members of China, or it could be higher than that in China. Mainland China is also quite high, the number of members. But the number of nominations in COMSOC, in which about in a year there were 100 or 100 plus. From India, in the last 2-3 years, there has been only one nomination who could not make it. That is possible with one nomination. But the, just in say in a span of 2 or 3 years, only one nomination, where there are about 100 or 100 plus nominations in a year. It is not at all good, and as a country, so you can understand that we have a long way to go to bring numbers to at least respectable levels. So we have to scale up, just like China scaled up. When China economy was not open, they did not have much activity in IEEE. But when they opened up, they have gradually increased to significant numbers. But for India, nothing of that kind has happened, and I do not know how much government support actively, whether government is even aware of such things, I do not know. But even IEEE India Council, I had told, I know Deepak Das, who's the president. I had told him some of these things about COMSOC at least, that you need to have better nominations, at least more nominations in a year through COMSOC. So I don't know what will happen next year, I do not know. But what I'm saying is that we need to, gear up and be aware that we are not doing well in terms of numbers. Because, compared to the population we have some good people, etc., all that is fine. But to make an impact as a country, you need much more numbers. You cannot do otherwise. You see small European countries, you see the number of IEEE fellows they have in 5 years. May not have so many in a year, but they have. And even Hong Kong itself, how many IEEE fellows in a year there are from Hong Kong? Count it. You can download the file from the IEEE website. See, or from Singapore. It's not that it's a miracle, no. They have worked towards it, right? So we also need to work towards hard. There is no substitute for hard work. So, and that applies to both academics and industry people, to be aware of these things. We have so many IEEE activities, but finally, when it comes to fellowship, our output is not good at all. Sorry to say this. So we need to buck up. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Professor Ranjan, for keeping and us all on toes.
I'll tell you one more thing. Sorry. Our country became independent in 1947. The first time ever anybody from India got into the editorial board of IEEE Transaction Communications is 2007, and that was me. In 60 years, nobody could take. So it's a shame. There's nothing to be proud of. That's what I'm saying. Today, of course, there are several, which is good. But it has happened. So 60 years we were sleeping. That is what I'm saying. This is not the way to function. We have to function better.
Forward to your active.
No, but I can only see an individual can do only up to a point. So it has to be a collective, wisdom and a collective action. That is important. That's what I'm saying. You need strength in numbers. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Ranjan.
From the IEEE Delhi section, I will urge Ranjan Malli brother, being a fellow, try to do it so that we get more followers, at least from communications.
Yeah, I will
try to amplify.
Yes, sir.
I have done 4 successful IEEE nominations. One from India, and one from Canada, one from Hong Kong, and one from Greece. So I have done. But I do, if I find a suitable candidate, I'll be happy to nominate. But it is not always easy to get a suitable candidate. I am saying from COMSOC side. Power side, of course, there are more candidates who are suitable, which is good. But unfortunately, in communication side, I don't see who really have that kind of output. Significant enough. I am not talking of numbers. Numbers of papers.
I think similarly from electron devices also we have.
Electron devices is still better. They are better. Recently, Yogesh Singh Chauhan got, so he got it pretty early, which is good. Sagiwan got earlier. No, he got from CAS. And then Souvik Mahapatra got from here.
So from IEEE Delhi section, Professor Bhim Singh is the chair for fellow nomination committee. Again, request him to identify the right candidates. Of course, you can take your guidance as well.
No, that's okay. The question is, it has to be a collective effort of many people. Just No, that's okay. But I always encourage those who are eligible, even industry people. I have somebody get nominated for COMSOC who's from industry for next year. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Open the forum, sir, for a few questions.
Thank you so much. It's been a wonderful and very interesting. Really look if there are any kind of questions coming in from the audience.
Or maybe Deepak would like
Yes,
to
Press Mridula was all the time looking at, she was trying to raise hand like this. Very glad to see that.
Thank you for this panel discussion. It is very interesting to listening to all the panelists. My question to Professor Sujoy Dev. He said that as manufacturing has come in India and started a course in BTech VLSI, and I think that many more institutes have started such kind of courses in their respective institutions. My question to you is that what kind of hands-on training are you going to give? Are you planning to give to the student in terms of actually hands-on on the fabrication? We are not talking about the process simulators. I don't. So are you planning to have fab lab? Because that is most important. Yes. And if you are doing that, then please let us know.
Of course, of course. So we are in the process of establishing this fab lab. Basically 10,000 class, not very sophisticated one, but very limited. Maybe 1,000 class we are planning. And of course, it will be, we will make it accessible to by the other institutes which are in the vicinity. So apart from that, basically IIIT, especially the EC department, from the very beginning has started with a very close collaboration with industry. So when IIIT started its EC program, ST Microelectronics was very highly involved in designing curriculums. Students were getting internships there, and because of that push, I think today VLSI industry recognizes IIIT students coming out from the VLSI program very highly. So I think this industry collaboration and hands-on, these two things are the key to let the students know what actually. So basically to get the actual view of how things get solved. Apart from that, I think I will take this opportunity to emphasize on the system level design perspective. So one important opportunity we have here is that we have not done very well at system level design design thing, but currently the challenges or applications are coming in such a way that even the people who have some experience, they are not able to cope with it. So maybe even if we have a clean slate, we can make a mark, especially the initiatives like what CDEC has taken with the RISC-V kind of infrastructure. These are very important critical building blocks to build our system level designs, not from scratch, but with an open source platform, but you have the flexibility to basically tune it as you want. So this is a very, very unique opportunity in my opinion, and there are a lot of startups which are looking into RISC-based designs, etc. Going forward, I think system level understanding and design with RISC-V will be a game changer, because all the way we understand compute is changing very, very rapidly. The large language models, they were introduced in 2017, and now we are thinking of these LLMs will change the world, right? So things are changing very rapidly. We want our devices to be smart, personalized, etc. So to do that and to build systems for that, like that, we have to basically use this very unique platforms like RISC-V. So that's my opinion, and I think we are also introducing courses in our curriculum so that students do get to see how to build using those things.
Thank you so much, Chris. Any other questions from
I've got
audience?
some question actually. Anyway, let me speak loudly, because we have seen the three facts or facets like design, fabrication, then packaging. Have we convinced our government, maybe through MEIT, to be involved in all the three processes? Or it will be still going on only fabrication only? Because we don't want to compete with Singapore, Hong Kong, Taiwan, who gets the design from European countries as well as North America to fabricate and send them back, because they thought this is easier and cheaper to get it done, but the basic principles of design remain with them.
Maybe Rakesh Malik would like to take this question.
So in fact, you're right here. On the design ecosystem and the environment, we see right now. View, fabrication in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years time. We should be doing that. We should be doing the manufacturing of what design, and that to which customer. So I think those kind of things is not being taken care so far. I would say there are some things which are taken care individually, like for example, our company we are looking in for some design for EV vehicles and so on, for ICs, automotive ICs and so on. But I think as a effort, this part is missing, and this part is very, very key, because the design should be ready to manufacture if the lab, if the fab is there. So if the fab are not loaded, they should not be loaded from outside. They should be loaded from inside India. I think that should be the thing. So there has to be a lot of work to be done, identifying the customers, what kind of ICs we need to do, and also to have this ecosystem, the middle ecosystem of design to be strengthened. I think that is very, very important. A lot of work has to be done in this part.
My second question is, because a lot of students are involved there, we have to stop the brain drain to all going to the computer, because best assets of the country are moving there. And we are neglecting, for this reason, all other branches of engineering.
That's a very good point. Excellent.
Civil engineering we have destroyed. We are going to destroy further electrical, which is mother of all these. There is nothing like electronic engineering department. It is electrical and computer engineering. We have seen where from it has started and where it has reached. And we should not miss the earlier part and move to only on computer.
That's
तो आपने दुखती
That's why I told beforehand that I am happy with my daughter. She told I will do analog computer design, and that is the only thing that. Not even moving interface, will do it for digital. I have seen it. Everybody used to be writing software. No, I am the hardcore designer actually, which Intel advertised. This is behind it. That code 5, code 6 or whatever is there. And similarly in the boss also, he is doing this with sensor tech.
Excellent.
His student only.
Yes.
So, so I'll give you a quick example. This is especially for the students, and whichever branch you are in, many of them would be still computer science sitting in the room. It's impossible a single day without semiconductors. If we talk about this room, from this night to the lights, to the projector, to the display, to the air conditioning, to the whole AV system, everything has a semiconductor sitting inside it. Okay, it's like you can't live without breath. You can't, live without semiconductors. And all the AI learners, I'm a hardcore supporter for the hardware, not the software. You need a hardware to run your AI algorithms. Okay, you do the best of it unless you don't have hardware, you can't do it. You can't live without it. So this is, I think, short of it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, all the panelists, for this very, very engaging discussion. Thank you so much, Gupta sir, for your question. Mridula ma'am as well for your question. I think in the interest of time, we would close this panel discussion. And I would just like to say something which I learned many years back during my best planning days. So in Simulator, there is a three golden rules which every design aspirant or VLSI aspirant should follow. First rule is make the devices as fast as possible, no matter at whatever speed they are currently working. Right. So that is how we started from few kilohertz. We are talking of gigahertz speed, and then from terahertz. Make the device as small as possible, no matter whatever currently size you are working at. That is how we reach from 180 nanometer to 2 nanometer, and maybe further to atomic stick level also. And third is make the devices as power efficient as possible, no matter whatever power they are currently drawing. That's why we really look forward to that once you charge your mobile phone, and then you should not be needing to charge it again for another 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever it is. So with that thoughts in mind, and with all the wonderful inputs coming in from our panelists, let us give a big round of applause to our panelists. I would request Deepak Mathur sir, Prerna ma'am, I don't see Prerna ma'am, Surota sir, Mridula ma'am, Professor Lansong, please, all of us, please join us in felicitating the panelists, please. Thank you so much.
I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to our panelists. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise, insights and experiences.
Generally, you hold it like this, I guess. Lance can. Yes, yes. Please, that's fine.
Photographs के साथ
आप यहाँ बीच में चले जाए. We have to go, sir. ये फिर पकड़ना पड़ेगा. ये पकड़ना है नहीं पकड़ना.